Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the BTS coverage of the Frankfurt qualifiers. We're now on the EU region. It's the third day, so now we have playoffs. There's 2 days of group stage. Now we're in the 2 days of playoffs. First day of playoffs, only one team gets eliminated, and you still have 3 teams left, but you don't actually know who's gonna go on. SCA, we have 3 teams left. Alliance looking like they are on the brink of eliminating Team Liquid. Shocking.
Really,
That
definitely.
really actually is shocking.
It is. Yeah, I said that a little bit facetiously, but it actually is pretty crazy. And been playing a really solid one. We talked about they basically just won one team fight in the last game, and because of the item build that you saw out of Liquid, it ended up translating into them winning the rest of the game somehow. And well, just by a Naga Siren getting that Octarine pretty quickly. And very curious to see what the response is going to be as we move forward into this one. Anything in particular that you are really looking forward to? You think we might end up seeing a very comfortable draft out of both teams and just try to reset the score and Liquid hopefully end up persevering through?
I actually think Liquid has. It seems like from the games that I've watched, they've been caught by surprise from the strats because they weren't very well prepared for the Naga, even though it was revealed pretty early. And it's what Alliance likes to do. The late game, I was looking at their other Dota buffs. It's like anti-mage plus some other super hard late gamer for him, as opposed to like an Ember or Gyro, anything that's more early game centric. And then they got caught off guard by the Meepo earlier, but that's more understandable.
Yeah, definitely.
So both of the games, it's just like, wow, we got outdrafted. What do we do now? And then they just kind of crumble.
Yeah, it's weird.
It wasn't an outdraft though, that last game.
I feel like they're kind of we've seen them play really well and be able to show great discipline when they're ahead, but kind of if they fall behind early, I feel like it's difficult for them to pull themselves out of that rut to some extent. I mean, obviously a really great team in terms of being able to, maybe that's a function of the draft as well, that if you're behind early on some of these heroes, it's hard to catch back up.
Yeah, maybe it's just the curse of being picked up by a new sponsor.
Yeah, there you go. That's probably part of it.
Woo! Mouse Sports picks up a team, bombs out. Archon picks up a team, bomb out.
Yeah.
Liquid picks up a team, do decently, but they might bomb out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, hopefully not for Liquid Safe or the fans of Liquid out there. Certainly have been one of the bright spots this tournament, showing a lot of cool plays, and right now faltering a little bit at the end, but still looking forward to see what they do in this next game here in a little while. It's
Draft's about to come up.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that so many sponsors have picked up teams before they're actually qualified for the big event.
That is true. I mean, you obviously want to avoid the implication that, we're only picking up this team because they're here, but it's still...
Is that worth the risk of they might not qualify for the big event?
Point.
Or they might disband after? Because, I mean, no one cares about the roster lock if you're not qualified for the majors.
Right, yeah, definitely. It makes a lot of sense. Like, if you're not going to be able to make it that extra bit further, it's a new environment. The roster lock is something that I feel like is going to definitely impact the way that these teams end up formulating new ones. And as you go later and later into it, it's going to be harder to find those good players because the good players will already be locked into a roster that's moving on to TI potentially. So I think that it's going to definitely play a part in terms of how we see these roster shakeups as we move forward. Really curious.
I hope Team Liquid does not disband. Please,
Same.
please don't.
Yeah, I feel like they're probably not going to.
Okay.
They seem pretty solid.
I heard a Dyer's turn to ban. It's time to get into the draft. Let's do it.
Go.
K-pop.
Excited for this one. So right off the back, the Dark Seer banned out, as well as that Queen of Pain, Broodmother, and the Doom, not wanting any shenanigans at all this time around. Team Liquid banning out those 2 heroes there, and no real surprise. Some of the big key heroes in the meta currently, and Alchemist still in the pool there as well.
Alchemist was completely ignored last game.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting.
Yes, the other SEA, it's like, we gotta ban this,
right,
or if not, we're gonna take it because we're gonna own you with Radiance.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I guess it depends region to region on what you want to go for. It's like I felt like we're seeing the metas shift as we move across the areas. Certainly in North America, a lot of greed that we ended up seeing come out.
I wouldn't even say it's shifting. It's just different playstyles per region.
Yeah.
Like SEA is really... They like to play it a little bit more slow and a little bit more farmy, although we just came off a Naga game where I think Alchemist can't be as punished. Whereas you see some of the CIS teams, they 5-man super early and they're taking down towers left and right, which Alchemist doesn't do that well against when he doesn't have a map to farm. One thing I do like about S4's draft recently is that he has been reserving the Batrider for a later pick. I think earlier in 6.85, he thought that Batrider was a good hero, and kind of solidifying that was him first picking it a lot, which leaves a lot of counters open. But no one else is really going to take it, and they might ban in the second phase, but they might not. And last time they didn't. They sneak away with the 5th pick Bet Rider, which is a favorable matchup against Beastmaster, and they can get away with a 10-minute blink. I think once he picks up in the first phase, they're much more willing to interrupt the stacks, draft a favorable matchup mid that can't actually die to the Bet Rider, and all these other things that come with an early Bet Rider pick.
Well, he ended up picking it after that Beastmaster last time, but
yeah.
Not going to be in this one. We do see it banned out after the IO first pick into Tusk Undying, feeling like they want to apply that pressure. Certainly a lane that is going to be able to do it there with that the Tusk Undying if they want to run those two together. Nature's Prophet also picked up, a hero that's often touted as one of the best heroes for this team. That being said, I took a look at the stats. 1 in 4 when they run the Nature's Prophet currently in this patch, so might be a little bit overrated. What's your thoughts on the Nature's Prophet?
In general or for Alliance?
What's that now?
In general or for Alliance?
For Alliance particularly.
For Alliance in particular, I think that Admiral Bulldog is one of the best NPs. His Undying last game was like, he didn't have to play that great, but it wasn't a super top-notch Undying. His Tombstone placement, I think, in particular, wasn't that great. But for Nature's Prophet, he is, pretty sure, the best one, that at least in the EU scene, for sure. The world, maybe a little bit questionable, but he retains that title and will probably for a long time to come. It synergizes really well with the IO. Obviously, we saw them run this a lot in different patches too, with like a Storm Spirit for S4, but Storm Spirit kind of out of contention. It's still really good. I think it shores up on their greed factor, because they can actually come to fights when people are off farming. Generally, it's like it's Loda, off farming a lot. So now with this sort of mobility, you can keep up with your farm as well as take team fights early, because we didn't really see Alliance explode until 25 minutes last game. And I think this way they can play the farm game that they like, but also come to fights, which is pretty nice. So Wisp is always a good hero for Alliance.
Yeah. Greed, but also being able to have it be not necessarily punished as well sometimes there. Razor going to be the pickup now as well for Liquid with the Lina follow-up. Tiny hasn't been picked up, interestingly enough, by Alliance yet. Usually a combo that you end up seeing, but certainly not the only one that you end up running in that situation.
I think they might actually go for CK. They don't have any AoE. I think that CK is actually a really good pick right now.
That could be pretty cool. And I do think that this lineup for Team Liquid here is very much a run at you, try and deal a lot of damage quickly. All of these heroes very much in your face. And it doesn't really look like Alliance. I mean, Nature's Prophet, I feel like to some extent can deal with it. There's a lot. It feels to me like there's a lot of pressure on these lanes here already from Team Liquid. I guess Light Strike Ray to some extent is going to be able to keep you alive, but all of these heroes just very aggressive.
Yes, it is super aggressive, and Slaughter X is actually one of the better heroes versus Nature's Prophet. You can't TP away once Slaughter has Blink. It's a little bit better than a Bounty Hunter or Nyx, which I also think are really good at dealing with the NP split push. But at the same time, NP can kind of deal with it well if he's plays around in the trees and gets a Blink Dagger. But yeah, all these heroes kind of run at you, a lot of single target. I'm trying to think of what Alliance wants to run. Sven is not that great versus the Razor, I would say. On top of Warcry only having limited uptime versus Slardar. What other things they like? They run PA sometimes. Wraith King is also okay, but he suffers the same issue against the Razor. I think CK is probably one of the better ones. Tiny's also just always going to be good, but for some reason I think they're going to do Chaos Knight a little bit.
I think that would be really cool there. I mean, if you run the sort of defensive tri-lane there, if you ran the IO Lina, I feel like we've been seeing Lina more often in a support role than as the core role, maybe partially because of the nerf that ended up coming out by Yules. Still, obviously, you can run the hero there. It's incredibly powerful. But I do think that if you do end up running the Lina there in the safe lane, keeping alive a CK or some other hero there potentially as well, you have the possibility to lay down the Light Strike Array as the snowball's coming in and catch two heroes, which is a possibility in terms of sort of taking care of the aggression that happens in that lane. But they're going to go for the Naga Siren again. All right, it worked last time. Why not, I guess?
I don't know if this one is a core Naga, though, because they generally don't pick Wisp plus Naga Siren together. Or, sorry, Naga Siren core, that is. I think it might be a solution for the Undying as well as the Tusk, as well as possible Disengage. That's what it seems more like. We'll see.
Yeah. Venomancer's going to be banned out here as well. I will also mention real quickly that Tiny has the highest win rate of any of the heroes with above 20 picks in this patch at 73%. So it's been really, really effective in terms of his ability to make his impact felt.
We've seen so many tiny whiffs just destroy the other team.
Yeah, it can be in a very effective combo if you're not able to deal with it. That being said, with a very tanky lineup, maybe not necessarily the greatest combination, it's going to be harder to one-shot these heroes than if you have something like, potentially a Skywrath Mage or one of those other heroes that's a little bit more squishy. But Winter Wyvern going to be the ban. Still looking for probably one more support here, unless it's going to be a Tusk Undying support combo, which might be a little bit strange. 3 melee heroes? Oh god, what if Alliance go techies last? I feel like they're not going to do that, but there's always a possibility.
A man can dream. Techies is one of those weird heroes. It's like, oh, we hate him, we love him, we hate him, we love him, we hate him.
Well, for everybody, it's
like we want him to be released. Oh God, why did you release him? Please remove him from the game. And then it's like, oh nice, he's so fun to watch with Tusk. Oh wait, he's in every single game. Please don't pick him, so pubs will stop picking him.
It's like Frankenstein, honestly. Just one of those, the monster that went out of your control and is now going to destroy the world.
What do they want to do? Dazzle is a decent support here, but he's not that great versus a Wisp. Disruptor is okay versus picking off a Naga Siren, but if I were Liquid, I would suspect that it's not a core Naga Siren, which is not that important to be able to glimpse him back. But I don't really think you can have an awesome babysitter for Slardar as well as having a Wisp counter.
Yeah, I really like the Winter Wyvern pickup. That would have been the best one because you have the ability to Cold Embrace there, obviously, and then Winter's Curse great against any combination of IO. But
they don't have any physical damage yet, though. So I mean, it would have been. I think it would have been pretty good for them. But if they really wanted, they would just dump Slardar. I don't think they're going to ban Slardar last. But again, they have this issue where their late game is not super awesome. So Alliance can just play it slow, maybe even just use the Wisp to get even more farm by stacking and relocating to siege some towers.
They go for the Dazzle. You said you didn't really like that pick too much.
There's not a better one, right? Yeah. It's like if you pick a Wisp counter, you're going to have a crap lane because Slardar's not that great in lane early, but Dazzle has such good synergy with Slardar, and it's also good versus Luna that you're hard pressed to not pick him up.
Haven't seen a Tidehunter in a while. Certainly the first time. S4 Tidehunter. Oh my goodness. Very, very interesting. Apparently he did this earlier on in this patch as well, so what do you think about the Tidehunter here?
I mean, obviously you have to have 2 sea creatures in the game with Slardar and Tidehunter facing off versus each other, and the Naga Siren. 2 sea creatures beats 1 sea creature.
Walrus, he kind of hangs out in the ocean from time to time. A little Mr. Tusk there.
I call him Watermelon Man.
Watermelon Man. Okay, I like that. I think it's going to come down to the cosmetics here and who has the better cosmetics, and Tidehunter always the king of that. I feel like
he has some sick ones.
He really
has Squiddles. He has like the pirate hat. He has like the bit of boat. Let's see what S4 is rocking.
Oh, what's he got? The little fish. The little fish with the big fish on top of him. What the heck is this cosmetic even? This is great.
Dude, he has the pirate flag.
And the dual mangoes. Oh, we forgot to make the mango bet.
Zoom in. Oh. Zoom in on him.
Does he have it?
No, I want to check out that pimp.
Oh, man.
It's pretty pimp.
That's great. Yeah, it's wonderful.
It looks like he's just going to slap people with his... with this fish.
That's yes.
Dude, double mango?
Yeah, double mango.
Wow, we would have definitely lost a mango bet this game.
Oh yeah, they got.
We should just put in a chip.
All right,
I think both the line would have been like 1.5. One of us. I'm just down to put in a chip.
Yeah, I feel like production's still going to lose anyways. They only got 1 left.
Oh, mangoes.
You guys got owned. Well.
We're
Radiant
honorable.
do get a ward way up here. Going to be able to block the pole camp pretty nicely. I like that ward a lot. I'm pretty sure that one does still block. It's pretty far up there, but I'm sure that these teams know exactly what that is.
Maybe Tidehunter is a good counter to Slardar.
It's kind of an interesting idea there, yeah. He's certainly going to have a ton of regen right now, and once he ends up getting that shell as well, it becomes very, very difficult to really deal any type of damage to him. Already 6 armor on him. Yeah, that's as good. And Ake is going to be able to pick up this rune, no problem at all. So trade out the runes. Again, we get a little bit of a glitch where it shows that both of the bounty runes are still there. Clearly not the case. Don't worry, just a couple of spectator things going on here.
I want to look up some more information on Tidehunter, you carry on.
Sounds good. Admiral Bulldog's going to be up in the top lane, does have boots. Interestingly enough, it looks like they're going to off to dual lane over here in the bottom with Lina Tidehunter, and in mid, we've got Naga Siren Io. So a very interesting combination of a draft. And Liquid, I feel like they're in a pretty decent spot to be able to deal with this. I mean, Fata in the mid lane, Razor is going to have a pretty good time here against the Naga Siren. Obviously, with the Io, it creates a little bit of synergy there where you're going to be able to stay alive a little bit longer than usual and be a little bit stronger in lane as well. But still a very tough one.
Wait, you said S4 did this earlier? I can't find any information on this.
That is
K-pop.
It's K-pop.
It hasn't been in the last 100 matches with Tidehunter. Oh, okay.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that would make a little bit more sense then.
Okay, I'll look it up. I'll dig a little bit deeper.
Sounds good. find the info. All
I
right.
didn't get parsed.
Mine. Down bottom lane again. Tusk here. Going to be able to zone out these two supports. This is actually looking really bad so far. Radiant Dazzle has more CS currently than the Naga Siren does, which is not necessarily what you want to have happen for your to some extent carry. Lots of damage on Fata in the mid lane. The Riptide doing a good amount of work here. I mean, 7 armor on the Naga Siren. That's really difficult to deal with in the mid lane. He's going to be able to keep on pushing forward here. Does have mirror image as well, so once he tosses those illusions out, he can just send them on up into the mid lane and toss out a Riptide to keep damaging away at there.
Okay, let's see if Tidehunter can withstand the test of this lane.
Oh my god, it's a lot of damage. Oh, Light Strike Ray ends up connecting. Another little Anchor Smash, keeping him alive a little bit longer, but it's too much. Tusk ends up getting the kill, jumping forward again onto My Nuts. He doesn't have another shards here in a second. Light Strike Ray onto 2. Io comes over as well. Maybe a turnaround here. Going to get the slow in a second from the tether. Not able to get on the other side. Overcharge abound, but not quite enough. And at the end of the day, they end up losing 1, the Tidehunter, for nothing. So first blood going the way of the Tusk.
Okay, cool.
So Alliance Team Secret.
80-minute game.
Interesting. So apparently it was also... Okay.
The
More
sea
information
creature
and
strat.
stats. This top lane's been going pretty good so far for Bulldog. Getting on the other side of the shards. Actually, he's in a little bit of trouble now. Gets interrupted on his TP. As soon as I start talking about it, they're going to be able to break through here. One more right click. He gets out!
Wow.
Oh, close right now for Bulldog. NP making it happen.
What a player.
Oh, solid.
Solid indeed. I'm still trying to figure out why Tidehunter. Maybe he has just a lot of damage mitigation with Kraken and Anchor Smash, especially versus a carry like Slardar, who doesn't really get that much plus damage.
I guess. It definitely seems a little bit suspect, but...
But at the same time, it's not very good versus Razor because he has so much plus damage that
Right.
neither of your skills really do that much. So kind of a win versus Slardar, a loss versus Razor. What about Ravage? I mean, Ravage is generally pretty good. Maybe sleep in a Ravage.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
K-pop mentioned that they had Naga the last time they had picked it, but it wasn't a core Naga.
Bulldog making plays happen again, just pushing people away with that Sprout. So good. After the shards come on in, it looks like he's about to die and just pushes them away. Just really solid play right now.
We see some ancient stacking.
That'll be helpful. It does become a little bit more difficult, and this was something I was curious about, is how the changes to the Ancients were going to affect Tide's ability to take those. Because now that you're getting more attack speed out as well as the higher armor, it might not be as easy to be able to get a lot of damage out from Tide.
Yeah, but he's still not going to take any damage. With a lot of Kraken and a lot of Anchor Smash, I don't think they have any more damage. It was just attack speed, right?
Is he going to be able to kill him, though?
I think so.
With the Black Drakes, you get +2 armor and it stacks.
It's just going to take longer, but he shouldn't be in huge danger of doing it.
Well, cool then. All right, Loda again over here, just continuing to hit away. Fata's stealing a little bit of damage, but not really a ton. And S4 trying to contest the pulls. No real problem here, making it happen.
There is a Thunderhide camp, so 15% extra damage. I guess it'll be a little bit harder. But I think he could do it before with like a 0-2-4. You might just be needing like a 0-3-4 in order to take 0 damage from it.
Yeah. Oh, jump forward onto Tide yet again. We do have Dazzle here. Heal Bomb coming out. S4 taking a lot of damage now. Needs to be able to make some type of initiation. Okay, gonna be able to keep him alive. Oh my god. This Tide Hunter. 10 regen with the Mango as well as the IO tethered up to him.
He was too slow with the stun. He got the stun off after he dropped the Anchor Smash. But I guess maybe he got cracking it off.
How do you deal with this against this Tide Hunter? Like, I feel like he's unkillable almost at this point when you have that IO coming on in with the tether there.
I mean, you can still limit his farm a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe not as a melee hero, but you can drop some heal bombs because he's generally going to be in the middle of creeps.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Tusk picks up a smoke as well. Here's the sprint.
Can't deal with the mangoes.
Oh, he gets the yeah, the mangoes are too strong, definitely.
It really is. We joke about Mango a lot, but Mango is actually super legit in this matchup.
Well, and I mean, being able to consistently have...
they're trying to jack the stacks. Loda trying to take out this 3-stack. Fada already there with 2 heroes behind him. This is bad.
This is really,
Loda's
really
economy.
Bad. It doesn't look like Tidehunter is going to be able to make a huge difference either. Doesn't have Ravage quite yet, only level 4. If they did have that, they'd be able to make something happen. But the Invis Rune just wearing off now for Razor. 87 damage stolen. Wisp ends up getting exploded. Loda soon to follow here as well. We do have the Tusk coming in from the other side, trying to take care of this Lina that's rotating in. Actually, the Naga ends up living there. But this might become at the cost of stacks. They're all going to go down here. Oh, that's really too bad. Fight recap, 200 gold swing, but still at the end of it,
it's a lot of gold denied. I think that's like probably 400, I think, gold denied to Loda that he could have had. Or 400 gold swing, maybe even 500.
Yeah.
Good ward.
Definitely. Yeah, they've gotten wards all up into this area here. Behind the tier 1 tower as well. Mind Control's super comfortable just sitting around here. I think he forced the TP away from the Nature's Prophet as well.
They had a dual lane in mid, but not really able to limit Razor's farm, especially after that one. He's about a good 1,000 gold ahead with the Naga Siren.
Oh, Loda gets off the song right before Drax ends up hitting with the snowball, so they might end up trying to turn onto this. It certainly looks like Liquid have really prioritized pressuring this Naga Siren, and with these lanes, you'd expect them to be ahead. I think that they're doing a pretty great job of making sure this happens.
Where's Alliance's damage, though? They have a lot of mitigation with the Tide, but in terms of being able to damage, especially through the healing output of Dazzle, I don't really foresee them being able to do that much. Maybe Lena getting level 6, but even then, that's only 1 hero, and they have Grave to counterplay that.
I mean, Ravage is probably the only thing that I can think of that's really going to make a big difference, but oh god, S4 down in the bottom lane, getting crushed, getting bashed. He's continuing to get bashed here. Does have the amplified damage down as well. Ravage ends up getting popped. Actually going to turn around on his Slardar now. Razor's in the area as well. So much damage. Heal bomb down. S4 is going to end up falling. Undying ends up getting the kill. Oh, disaster strikes. And this is Arcane Boots up for the Tide as well. Fight recap. 4-0 start for Liquid. Really coming out strong after that disappointing loss in the last game. Making short work.
I'm disappointed with Tidehunter. I like the hero a lot, but unfortunately, I don't think he can do that much this game.
Well, and the blown first Ravage is so key as well. Like, you want to be able to really make something happen with that, and
those stick charges.
The rotations just came a little bit too soon, and we're able to make it work.
Smokes with Kuro and Jerax, maybe looking for some more farming heroes in that jungle. Nature's Prophet going for Orchid first build, 700 HP if he doesn't tread toggle, and he is in a poor position.
They do spot him. There's the shards coming forward. Maybe he's going to be able to get out a nice sprout here. That's the only chance he does separate himself. Are you kidding me right now? Admiral Bulldog able to make his way away, but it's still, I don't know.
Is it time to invest in Quelling Blade?
It might be at some point in time here. Slardar actually has one. I mean, Tusk needs one probably, but that's like the 3rd time that's happened now. Oh, jumping forward onto Lina. Minut's getting dove behind tier 2 tower. Well, Light Strike Array does end up missing. Gonna Blade as well. Where were you going? Oh, well, a little turnaround there for Alliance. They're getting very bold on Liquid.
And in this game, the Naga Siren is actually super poor. 300 gold after Arcane Boots 10 minutes in. I think Loda was probably 1,200, maybe 1,000 gold richer at this point last game.
And they keep on taking all of her jungle, too. Like, they're always in her jungle at this point. And they're not really taking towers or making a... I guess they're taking the mid tower now as I say that. But it hasn't really translated into much more besides just setting up their farm. Doesn't have Ravage for another 25 here. S4 wants to be able to make something happen with this haste rune, but a little bit too much to ask without the Ravage. How do you feel like Alliance gets back into this game here? Do they try and clear out the jungle or
I
get
don't feel like they're
gates?
that far behind. You can feel the
Yeah.
pressure from Liquid that they always want to be in the jungle to limit their farm, but they're not actually getting the towers down. So I feel like Liquid's actually, you know, kind of scrambling to shut down Loda's farm, remembering what happened last game.
Yeah.
And they've blown through a couple of smokes already, and they're probably really frustrated that they also can't kill the Nature's Prophet, even though he TP'd right into a tombstone.
S4
No
up top
tricks for
on
you.
9. Able to kill him that time. Meanwhile, trying to get a kill down on S4 in the bottom lane. Not quite able to make that one happen, but finally getting the kill. Ravage down bot. Ends up getting the turnaround. Matumbaman dropping low. Able to kill Tide and then just walk away. Loda wanted it. Does have Song up. Ends up using it. Fata's in the area as well.
Oh, he got the bottle charge off before the sleep. This could be
A
bad.
little bit longer. Nice stun. Ends up connecting. Right clicks. Maybe going to be able to make it happen. Snowball forward. Oh, Loda's dropping low. Ends up going Eye of the Storm. You really wanted that one just come off clean, and it was not that time around.
And they blew sleep. They blew sleep and Ravage for 1 kill.
And they lost 3? Ugh. Yeah, this is
The dreams of a 20-minute Radiance.
was looking good for them. And S4 back into it again. Fata's stealing the damage now. I mean, 90, 100, it's all coming down. Snowball again. He just moves right back in and is going to get right-clicked down. Fata on a killing spree. 2,200 gold in the bank. We do have the rotation. Hammer Bulldog with the sigil up as well. Do they have enough damage? Oh, Laguna Blade used. No TP for another couple seconds there. They're actually just going to turn around and kill him. Trying to get as much damage as he can. Fata actually is going to end up getting taken out, but he did buy the Yasha before he went down. So Razor gets a kill at the end for that one as well. Tide and the Lina for the Razor.
This Slaughter has been doing a lot of damage, though, even without the blink. I'm a little bit scared for them in this ancient stack that is massive. They need to take this out.
Yeah, they definitely do. And Tide not really close to a blink there. He's actually going for Mechanism first. What do you think about that? He put his mango back in his stash. What do you think about the
Mech's more armor. Blink is nice, but I think a lot of the time they're going to be setting up with sleep.
Okay.
Because if you get the jump on them, they have like Snowball, they have Grave into like Tombstone, Soul Rip. They have a lot of ways around not getting bursted down, and you don't have that much damage of your Alliance until you get the Radiance on the Naga. So
Oh god, they know that Tide is doing these Ancients right now. Tusk coming on in is going to be able to hit the shards. Snowball
no.
coming out shortly. Walrus Punch. Is it going to be enough damage? They do have Slardars here as well. S4 is going to go down. Razor gets the last kill. Grave as well at the end, keeping him alive. TP away. See you later, Tusk.
Fada, use your ultimate. Steal that stack with the DD. Oh no. This is bad. This is really bad.
I think that they're actually going to go for it, too. Minut's dropping low. This is not going to be a poison sting, but enough damage still with Razor chasing. Yeah, they popped the ulti. They're going to take this.
This is
terrible.
This is terrible.
Oh, God. Fata is going to get so much from this, and they can't really contest at this point. I mean, Tide is back up with Ravage. They're going to
Oh,
move on
yeah,
in.
they are.
Relocate. All right, a little bit extra here. Matumbaman dropping a little bit low. Bulldog's in the area, misses the crush. Razor's still trying to take it, but they're actually going to back out now at this point in time. Io finally able to get the kill on the Slardar, and they're actually just going to run away, taking the long route. But a lot of the stack gone.
Yeah, I saw no Alliance heroes, and I saw one TP on bottom tower, Bulldog TP in, and then relocate. I was like, okay, there's 4.
Yeah.
And S4 will protect his coveted stack.
The Bulldog ends up falling again in the mid lane. They're just losing heroes everywhere. Maelstrom's going to be the item pickup. Oh, Snowball in again on top of S4. He's just getting ganked constantly. Light Strike Array does hit. There's a Laguna Blade as well. Do we have the Grave coming out? Is close enough. There it is. Ravage blown. Mechanism out as well. That's going to be the turnaround that they might need. Tombstone's down as well. We do have Ake in the area as well, healing everybody up. But the Tombstone is just doing too much work. Razor there as well with Plasma Field. S4 ends up falling again. And that's another Ravage with no kills.
And the stack.
And the final little bits of the stack.
The most expensive ones.
God. Liquid are looking very strong this game. I think that they found the answer to the Naga Siren.
Time to fall back on Naga.
Yeah, she is...
Have they really found the answer to Naga Siren? I feel like a lot of the heroes were just maybe it was just taking the Undying away from Alliance that really helped them out. I still don't necessarily like the synergy in between Naga plus Wisp. There really isn't that much synergy. But still, have the hope of the Radiance sometime fairly soon, although Fada is getting really large and in charge.
Yeah, he's starting to become pretty terrifying. I think just the general game plan here for Liquid of, you know, I talked about it a little bit earlier as well, that I feel like they play better when they're ahead. Obviously, everybody plays better when they're ahead, but
that is not true.
That's not true?
Throwers.
Okay.
Throwers,
Fair enough.
man.
All right, true enough.
Some people are like, Bambo does not play better when he's ahead. It's like, oh, I can do this now.
So getting off to a very strong laning stage, I think was really important here for Liquid. And oh my God, here's the rune coming on in. Gonna take out Minuts in just a second here. Got the stun off, but to what end?
Do you see Razor's HP? He has 1600 HP.
This is craziness.
They have some nukes, but that HP pool is really large. Loda.
Oh, continuing to hit away here. Nice defensive relocate, bringing them on back. I don't know if they actually have enough to be able to make this happen. Bulldog not really in the area. I think that Io's going to die here in just a second.
Don't sacrifice him.
Boom. Walrus punch. Oh my God, with the tether still working. He's actually going to be able to get away from this one. Oh, snowball in, maybe not. Yeah, he is actually running pretty low. More right clicks coming on in. Bulldog dealing a good amount of damage there. Is this the turnaround that they needed? Io ends up getting the kill. It was like a spinning walrus punch. It looks like it like punched him to the other side, and Ake able to turn that one back around.
That was pretty sick.
That was awesome.
I think they had a Naga illusion micro to the south.
Very,
pretty smart.
done.
The creeps weren't far away enough for him to survive.
So Maelstrom going to be the item for Nature's Prophet now. We have 3 heroes mid for Liquid, trying to go on into the jungle yet again. Agasaren's still building up her items here, though. You feel like the Alliance are still going to be okay if they're able to get this Radiance
They
up
don't have
relatively
heroes
soon?
that can push out versus the illusions. Razor's like decent, but Slaughter are not really good at dealing with it. They do have better sustain this time with the Dazzle, rather than like a Silencer or WW that can actually, like, you know, if you're trying to push high ground and you get spammed down by 1, 2, 3 plus Manta into like a sleep and then more illusions, you have to be able to top yourself off so you're in fighting shape. And having a Dazzle plus like an Urn is really good for that. They do have a Medallion. I don't know if Alliance can handle a Roche. I guess they have Sleep. So they, I don't think it's worth using Sleep to save a hero at this point. You need to save it for the impending Roshan if you want to contest it.
Well, and that's probably going to be one of the big things coming up here, I would imagine, relatively soon. Minut's dropping low again. Light Strike Ray doesn't end up hitting. Mind Control dropping the decay as well. All they need is a Walrus Punch, and that's off cooldown in a second. They might not even need that. Just one more right click. Undying gets the Soul Rip off, and this is going to be a tier 2 tower here. Undying is going to be going for Aghanims, only about 1,400 gold away from finishing that one off, and should be a good way towards it as he helps to finish off this tower here. It seems like a pretty strong item. I mean, I guess that's a lot of strength heroes for Liquid, not a ton of them for Alliance. They do have the Io and the Tidehunter, obviously, but still seems like a pretty great item in terms of being able to really deal with Alliance's draft.
Oh, S4 doesn't even have his mech yet.
Took that stack, man.
Yeah. And I think that's probably the best thing that Liquid did this game that they didn't do last game, was try and contest the jungle a lot more earlier.
Yeah.
With the smokes.
And keep it up. It's been happening all game long. They've even got wards in there right now. If you take a look, they're keeping pretty good eyes over everything.
But at the same time, Alliance's draft, I think, is much weaker in that aspect that they have so many heroes that need to rely on the jungle. Nature's Prophet, even with like 6 sprouts, he still has to farm somewhere. And then you have Tidehunter who needs the Ancient stacks, and then Naga and Io who want to use the jungle. So last game they had a Queen of Pain on Undying. Neither of those need to fall back on the jungle if they're having a rough time. Right. And the Batrider had a decent enough start and picked up 1 kill that he also didn't need to rely on stacks. So you only have 1 hero as opposed to 3.5 this game.
Right. Yeah, definitely a lot more versatility in terms of being able to make that work.
They got away with it, like, let's play even greedier.
Exactly. So, tower count. We do see only 1 tower down at this point for Alliance. Meanwhile, for Liquid, I should say.
Do you like the snowball train on the right side?
The snowball train?
Yeah, they want a snowball in this one.
I like that a lot. It's looking like it could be pretty good here. Also, there's a ward spot over here as well with this one right to the side, which is pretty awesome in terms of being able to spot this out. But I would love to see somebody TP into this lane right now. Oh, Matumble jumps out, not able to catch with the blink. Bulldog being very careful with his movements. It's going to opt to head his way out there, and they're just going to take this tier 2 tower. I don't think that I think that they probably knew that there was, with nobody showing on the map, a very real possibility that somebody could come out and kill him.
Undying also almost has Ags. He is 3-0-4, so a self-build Ags 21 minutes, I would say, after Arcane and Mech. That's incredible.
Yeah. He's been farming crazily. I think he used Tombstone one time. Oh, my nuts. Walrus Punch. That's going to be a dead hero. Naga has Radiance. So, I mean, one Radiance does not a game win make, as the phrase goes.
They need to be able to capitalize on a Tidehunter Ravage, and if you're Liquid, you're looking to take Roche, break high ground, kind of deal with Ravage with heal as well as good positioning as well as Grave, and then you try and end the game. I think they actually have pretty good high ground siege with the sustain from Dazzle as well as just Razor beating on the tower, even though he doesn't have a scepter.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering if he was going to be going for Aghanim's at some point in time here relatively soon.
Apparently he doesn't get the item that often, but it might be good in this scenario before Naga gets too big.
It would be pretty good. They don't really have another great hero for like sieging the high ground necessarily, and I feel like you get an Aegis up on Razor, you get Eye of the Storm. Obviously it doesn't persist throughout.
If only you could amp towers.
Right.
That would be OP.
Yeah. Dazzle now as well, Illusion Rune. The Blink Dagger up on the Tusk. A little bit more jump there. That's going to be pretty great as well.
Got to kill the Wisp.
Yeah, I like that a lot. It looks like they are going to be content to go on in here and try and take on down Roche.
But that's a perfect fight for Alliance.
Yeah,
you sleep them in a Ravage and you destroy them.
Definitely. Right. TP Matumble Man. Oh, no, just going for killing the creeps. What do you think is going to be... What the hell? Oh, the relocate in to take the jungle.
I mean, might as well. It's not like you're really going to be using it to do that much else. Maybe save someone, but I think creating pressure somewhere else on the map is actually a very good use of the Naga Center. They can't even get close to like backdoor towers right now, so might as well use it to buy Naga 3 or 4 creep camps, and both mid and bottom lane are currently being taken out.
My nuts gets caught out another time. Heal Bomb coming out as well. Laguna Blade onto Jirax. Might be able to make this happen though. Mech coming out. My nuts still dropping low. Tombstone dropped onto the high ground now as well. That's going to end up being a kill. Razor's up here as well. S4 dropping low. Does have Ravage. Does not want to use it right there though.
Almost got that Tombstone.
Oh man, and this is actually going to be the tier 3 tower going down so quickly. Glyph is used as well. They're going to try and split push down in the top lane, but at this point in time, you're losing barracks potentially. If I recap, another huge gold swing, but I'm not sure if it's worth it. The other thing here as well is that you got Aghanim's up on the Undying, doesn't actually have a ton of levels into K right now. Well, 3 with the last couple levels that he's picked up. So they take the tier 3 tower, might lose the top one. They should be able to defend this. Probably.
Wow, they're playing really safe. They're scared of the sleep into like a Ravage.
I guess
that's the only reasonable explanation I can think of for them to actually back off at that point. But, I mean, without BKBs, it's still somewhat of a risky venture, taking that.
I do feel like Liquid has been a team that's, when they are ahead, they've played very, very cautiously and making sure they don't give that up for nothing. It's probably a pretty... all in all, do you feel like it's more worth it to back off there or to try and really push while Naga still isn't too big?
I think you actually force her to come back.
Bulldog ends up catching himself that time, does get the kill. Monster kill on Fata. S4 dropping as well. We do have Ravage up if they want to use it, but might not want to use it quite yet. It looks like they're going to be content to just back off, sleep. Here comes the Ravage. Do they have enough follow-up damage, though? Radiance is still up. Lots of damage coming out. Buyback by Bulldog. He's coming into the middle of the fight as well, but Fata is just this monster off to the side. Nature's Prophet ends up killing the Dazzle with his ulti as well. Jump forward with the snowball. Going after Loda. He's actually so tanky, though. Relocate back last second. Nice play by Ake. Now Fata's going to have to TP away. So 2 heroes dead. Lina ends up dying as well. The key thing here is they ended up using the Ravage and the Sleep. Do you feel like that one was
really
fight?
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they even had a blink out from the Tusk as well as an immediate BKB pop by Fada, but 2 heroes still died immediately. Was there? I think I might have seen a gem involved. Yeah, Tidehunter pick up Kuro's gem, so that's really bad actually.
Oh, Drax is stuck up on the high ground. He ended up messing up his blink a little bit. He's going to have to try and snowball a Loda, but in a little bit of trouble now. Walrus Punch down one time, not enough follow-up damage at all, and he's going to end up falling here. So suddenly, what looked to be a very strong position for Liquid.
It's weird how they approach that. Like they didn't push up when Alliance had 3 heroes up, but they decided to push into 5. I think if you back up, you want to swing in a Roche, but they weren't able to really bait out the Song at any point, and taking Roche with Song still up is way too risky by their standards.
It's really very strange. Jump forward onto my nuts again. He's been keeping on getting killed continuously, but Dumbleman eating him for dinner or breakfast, depending upon the part of the world that you're in. Fight recap again. Yeah.
So that's a BKB for Slardar. So that's 1, 2, 3 heroes who can deal with the Ravage at this point. Probably Undying if he gets enough stacks. Decay.
He has been able to max it out now. Going into that Ags, he only had 1 point decay, and now has a little bit more as well. A lot of armor and minus armor here for Liquid, and I feel like this is something that they're going to need to...
They're chasing illusions.
This is tough right now. The BKBs are also going to help in terms of their ability to not get the missed chance off from the Radiance. That's another, I think, key component here.
I think that people have been overrating it. I've seen so many teams go MKB just for a Radiance. It's only 17%. It's not that much.
He played against Spirit Breaker recently, man.
But he's on pseudo-random now.
That's true.
So it's not as bad.
Yeah.
But I think like my threshold for getting MKBs like 30% plus evasion, or obviously something like PA or Wind Ranger, but like 17% I don't think is enough to justify it generally. But with BKB's just really good versus the Radiance Burn as well as the Ravage.
Well, they're pushing on up the tier 3 over here in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, tier 3 getting pushed in the bottom lane or top lane as well. They're actually going to be able to take out this Rex here in a second too. Ravage is up. S4 dropping really low very quickly. Does look like they're going to try and continue this push a little bit more. Slardar Crush back on the base to the other side. The Song is coming out though. This could be a little bit disastrous. We do still have the Ravage up as well. Another jump forward could be enough to take out Mind Control and Fata. BKB does get off though. Snowball forward is going to be able to keep several of these heroes alive. Nicely done. Ravage finally used, but S4 is dropping low. Minuts. Laguna Blade onto Mind Control. Soul Rip keeping him alive as well. The Aghanim Scepter doing a lot here. Buybacks into the game as well. Bulldog is going to fall as also... I think that they actually have enough right now. The only person left alive is Naga Siren, who's back at the other side of the map right now. No, she's coming back to the base as well. So they're going to lose a tier 3. Fight recap, buyback from the Wisp. They're actually just going to leave it at this for now with no creeps in the base. Do you think they stick around at this point?
Yep. No Ravage. No Naga ult. All they need to do is weather the Ravage. They had fought a BKB, I think it hit 1 hero. It hit Tusk, maybe 1 more on the edge, but that wasn't nearly as devastating as the last one. He was way too low to try and engage at that point, but they're kind of caught in a pickle. So it looks like Liquid's solution for dealing with Alliance is take over their jungle early. I think those early smokes, as well as Alliance picking Tidehunter, kind of allowed Liquid to take over the game a little bit earlier than Alliance would have liked. Yeah. A little bit of contrast from last game.
So you don't really like the Tidehunter pick that much?
It's also... You'll hear a lot of captains talk about it. It's like you don't really want to go the same strategy twice in a row. And it might look like it's a little bit different with the Wisp and the Nature's Prophet for global presence, but at the end of the day, it's still a Naga Radiant strategy. And they realized what they did wrong last game, maybe give them a little bit too much, maybe not concentrate on the lanes enough, and it just kind of worked out that Liquid had way too much farm in the early game. And also, I think giving Jerax Tusk was... His Tusk is really, really good, too. Yeah. And he was able to pick off a lot of kills. Imagine, like, if Nature's Prophet didn't have those 6 sprouts, how much earlier would this game have ended? So, I don't know. I don't think they should have run with the Naga strategy twice, just because it's like, okay, we can't do anything for 20 minutes. We might be able to sleep to disengage to fight later, but in terms of actually being able to fight, it's not what I like with the Wisp strat. It's not what I like seeing out of Alliance. 2 games in a row. One game, sure. 2 games, it's
Bulldogs over here. It's gonna make his way away. It's like little ninja, constantly getting out of there.
But they're not really contesting any of the lanes. Like,
yeah.
Top lane, Nature's Prophet, he is not going to do well versus the Tusk. The bottom lane, you have the Slardar, constantly beating up the Tidehunter, who was able to mitigate a lot of damage early, but he wasn't able to get his mech at a reasonable time, nor was he able to secure a stack or win his lane in mid. Razor is definitely going to win, especially when Fada's playing it versus a melee hero. So they kind of didn't do as well all 3 lanes. With the Bat Rider, they had, I think, a decent matchup in the mid as well as a space creator, but Tide's not a space creator.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like you mentioned it there, the lanes were a huge issue throughout the whole course of it. I mean, all of these heroes are very strong lanes.
They needed the Undying. The Undying, the pick steal was probably even bigger than invading their jungle early.
All right, Ravage on to several, but BKBs are pop. Matumbo Man up in their face. Fata's going to strive forever. He is never dying at this point in time. Do get another Walrus Punch there on top of Ake. Everybody's going to go down here, and it looks like in just a second or two, we're going to be moving on to a Game 3, Alliance versus Liquid. GG gets called.
GG.
GG.
36-9. That's
Any final thoughts on the things that you might want to see? Not a Naga?
No, Naga support I think is fine.
It's
flexible enough that you can just run it in a strat that you're comfortable with. I would like to see Undying probably banned out, whoever's second pick. I think Undying's been actually pretty crucial in order to win the lanes and then just continue. I mean, first game again, it wasn't like winning the lane, but it was still enough pressure that Liquid had a lot of trouble dealing with it. So probably that and no Naga. Those are maybe the 2 looking for. Fada can still pick Razor.
All right, yeah, he did good. He did real good. Why not?
See if I get tired of playing that hero. You'll hear a lot of players like, oh God, please don't pick me Razor again. Does Artur ever say that?
Hey guys. No, he actually loves that hero.
He loves that hero. Wow.
He loves that hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's here.
He played it once, and then he was like, he actually said this. He said, "I miss Razor's voice. I miss hearing Razor's voice."
Was this 6.85?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Huh.
He said that recently.
Cool.
I mean, that's his jam.
Yeah. I don't know. He loves that hero.
Cool.
Feels familiar.
Okay. Thanks for joining us, Charlie.
Yeah.
We'll be back in a few minutes for game number 3 of the deciding